yeah, that's a team I could see the Rams beating, is like the Cowboys and stuff. But
I could see, I would put, the Cowboys could beat them as well.
Yeah, no, they're not clear guaranteed win. I mean, and it is the playoffs. Nobody's a guaranteed win, but like you there's nobody that I'd have them favored by over a touchdown against in the playoffs. And they spent like somebody that, you ever have a neighbor who's like got like a new boat or like an ATV in his front yard all the time, and you're like, I know what this guy does for a living. This does not make sense that this guy has all this stuff. Whatever, not my problem. Then all of a sudden you see that guy either moving out, selling that thing, constantly like trying to recoup for the stuff. Maybe he bought that with his savings and stuff. Like they kind of seem like they're operating on that way, but yet he still lives in that same damn neighborhood as you. He didn't get a new house. He didn't get anything like better than what you have, except for a couple fun toys. And that just seems like what the Rams are right now, is that weird neighbor that has all the cool stuff, but they can't afford it.
RC Sports, it's in the game.
Do you remember Deflategate?
Of course I remember Deflategate.
Yeah, so I was thinking about Deflategate today. Don't know why. I don't know why I was thinking. Oh, because Jimmy Garoppolo. That's what I was thinking about. I was like, what was Jimmy Garoppolo's origin story?
What was his role?
Well, he was the backup quarterback that got starts because of Deflategate being suspended.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he was like deflating the balls.
I mean, maybe. But so I remember what happened was he was drafted in the second round. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, is Brady going to retire? Like, what is going on? They drafted Jimmy Garoppolo. Patriots played the Colts in I believe it was a playoff game, and just beat the brakes off of them. Like, it was not even close. And the Colts then claim, hey, the ball was deflated below regulation. Patriots lose, I believe, a first round pick. And then Brady gets suspended for, I want to say it was either 4 or 5 games. I don't remember, but
it was the front end of the season, right?
Yep. It was to start the season. And so I remember what happened was Jimmy Garoppolo played a couple games, got injured. I think he won them too. And then Jacoby Brissett also got a start, which I thought was funny. I'm like, wow, these are two guys, your second and third string guys ended up being guys who like had a lot of starts. Right, like Jacoby Brissett's played, probably started 20 NFL games. Like, that's guy, like for a third stringer. So in my mind, I was thinking, okay, I feel like talking to you. You're somebody who maybe might like a jazz musician play around the mainstream narrative, maybe not necessarily follow it. Maybe play around it, see what's going on. So the thing I think about Deflategate is maybe they got caught for something worse. And the Patriots then got, because they used to film people's practices, all that kind of stuff, but maybe they got popped for something worse. And what happened was Brady took the fall and said, no, you know what, I was doing this. And here, all this whole time, he didn't like Jimmy Garoppolo, right? There was a whole thing about how they didn't like each other and stuff. They found that as a way to up 2 quarterbacks' trade values behind them to get the picks back that they were about to lose.
Just like break even.
Yeah, just be like, look at this guy. He's great. This is our backup, but Tom's going to play 15 more years. So we don't have anything to do with them. And then they lost the first round pick, but they got a second round pick for Jimmy. And then they got a wide receiver, Philip Dorsett, who didn't do much, but they needed a wide receiver. So they were able to...
It was a smart trade. Do you remember Matt Castle?
Of course. Absolutely.
Who came in for Brady when he broke his leg, I think. And they made a whole set of rules about how you can't hit Tom Brady's legs.
Hate that rule.
Anyway, so Matt Castle played well for a season. I remember that because I think that was the Brett Favre Jets season or something like that.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Or maybe it was Chad Pennington. I can't remember, but we really thought we had a shot when Brady went down.
Right.
And Belichick, just like, he's very good. He was very good with Brady's backups whenever he needed to use them.
Sure.
And then as soon as Brady came back, he had a second round pick. Third round pick in his
exactly. And you always saw them get these little playing stints, and then I want to say Castle went to the Chiefs. I don't remember if he. I don't remember if he signed or they traded him, but they're always drafting guys.
They traded him, and then he signed an extension. I think there until Alex Smith got there. Maybe
I think you're right. I think that checks out. So you're seeing these guys. Belichick is like, I'm always going to draft Brady's replacement on the off chance that maybe Brady does just decide, hey, I'm a little bit weird. I just rather be a personal trainer the rest of my life or something, or do like workout videos and diet stuff.
Are you saying you don't think they were deflating?
No.
Do you think they made that all up?
No. To me, like, okay, It never makes
Okay.
sense to me. I hate the Patriots. I hate them with a passion. Can't stand them. Anytime they get punished, good things to me. Now, my thing is like deflating the ball. That doesn't seem like something that causes like a first round pick and like, suspending the quarterback for 5 games. And they investigated it for so long. They wanted Brady's cell phone, which he smashed, which to me, it's like, I don't know, man. I feel like after a while you just take the L on deflating the ball. You're just like, we did. Yeah, whatever.
The whole thing was the whole way it happened was definitely very shady, but separately, do you believe that they cheated to win those War on Terror Super Bowls?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. And I don't think they ever stopped. I think Belichick's still doing stuff. Yeah.
He got caught a couple of years ago filming a practice again.
Josh McDaniels. So DJ Williams, who was a Broncos linebacker, because everyone remembers the 2 years I believe Josh McDaniels coached.
He was doing it over there too. Yeah.
He said we started out 6-0. And then we were cheating. And then the Niners hid their practice that we couldn't film and we lost. And then we went on a 6-game losing streak. He said it on Brandon Marshall's podcast. It was really funny.
I mean, there's definitely I saw an interview with Belichick a while ago where he kind of cracked and he was like, look, they're doing this in a football stadium, It's like I'm filming I got their signals. They're standing in front of 80,000 people on cameras beaming out to millions of people. It's like I understand in his head it's not cheating, it's just a competitive advantage. And sure. I read that when he was doing it, the sign stealing, he had his most success against the Jets and the Dolphins because they never changed their signs.
Lovely.
Like there were lots of teams that figured out what was going on.
If you're gonna leave your keys in the ignition and someone steals the car, it's still a crime, but you did leave your keys in the ignition.
And then to find that out that for like 8 years, every single Jets Patriots game, they just knew exactly what was coming.
Yeah, Willie McGinnis was just perfectly timing every snap count and just like getting into the backfield. You're like, is he
looking over to our sideline? And so it's like that's on us, That's
100%. And I think begs the question is Peter Thiel bankrolling the Patriots and doing Palantir spyware systems? That begs the question here. Do we have drones over the Buffalo practices right now? Do we have?
I like that. I like that because it connects Peter Thiel and Robert Kraft.
Come on.
And that where are you going to go? You can go anywhere with that.
You know what? And I just in other words, it's playoff time. I have Gnocchi Wizard Slothrop with me for the third time. You've come in at each interval of the season. You were at the midway point. You're at the beginning, and we are we're here. We're in the playoffs now.
Ready to hit the home stretch. Yeah,
it's going to be so fun. I'm actually so excited. I'm partially excited because I actually have a team that's playing in it. But
yeah, man, congratulations. That was a hell of a game.
It shouldn't have been, but it was. I mean, what are we doing? But I'm just so excited. You beat the Chargers. The coach blows a tie opportunity. Brandon Staley, the most Charger way.
One of the most embarrassing timeouts in history.
So Chargers.
Really.
If any team would ever do that, it'd be the Chargers. It would just.
If they had the ball, and they were driving, okay, foot on the gas, you're trying to win. That's okay. But they were trying to get the ball back with 30 seconds and no timeouts to drive for a field goal. It's like it's such a moonshot, even if it works. Yeah, it was just like it was such a dick move that they were like, all right, fine, you lose. Like,
well, it's weird because Collinsworth couldn't believe it. Collinsworth's like, I don't know what he's doing, and to me, like I saw Austin Eckler for the Chargers. There was like the thing where you could read his lips with how the players swap jerseys at the end of the game, and he was talking to the Raiders long snapper, and he's like, "You guys were going to take a knee, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, definitely, we were going to."
Yep.
And which is weird because to me, like the Raiders would be at Kansas City right now if they took a knee, and like. That's a huge difference going at Kansas City and then at Cincinnati, where you're playing a quarterback and a head coach's first career playoff game. Like that's like so much. I mean, that is so. To me, I was like,
from the Chargers' perspective, I don't see why. Yeah, I think that everybody on the Raiders bench must have been shocked and pissed off in the way that like if you realize that someone who's a lot smaller than you is like trying to fight you and you're like, wait, what the fuck? Like it just never occurs to you that that's about to happen. And then you're like, and what it comes down to is the Chargers had to stop What was it? A 3rd and 4?
Yeah, a run. He got 10 yards on the run, and he told the time.
Soft run defense.
But Staley said in the press conference, Brandon Staley said, "I called the timeout to get my run defense on the field." That was his cope. That was his cope. Yeah. That was the biggest cope I've ever heard. It's like you still give up 10 yards. Like
he wouldn't even own his Bush League decision. He said he needed to change his personnel. It's like, fuck you, dude.
He's an idiot, and he also had another horrible play that game where he went from it on his own 19-yard line at the start of the third, which was he's been
doing it. He's been doing it all year. I gotta say, so last time I was here, I picked the Ravens to win the AFC.
That's right. Rest in peace, Ravens.
Tough break. They lost 6 in a row to end the season. But one of the big reasons that they're not in the playoffs is they 2 games. The analytics tell them to go for it, to go for the win on a 2-point conversion instead of giving yourself a chance in overtime. They blow both games, and they on the season they were very bad on 2-point conversions. Like, it's like, okay, if those are the analytics, that gives you the better percentage, but you better be good at that play. You better call a good play. It's like they called shitty like rollouts that
to be fair, the one against the Steelers I thought was a fine play. Lamar blew the throw to Andrews in the flat where they did the play action.
It was there. He missed it.
I would have kicked the field. I'm with you. I take that overtime. To me, I'm with you the same way we go overtime. It's a rivalry. But the one against the Packers, I mean, you have your backup in. Your backup's already failed 2 4th-down conversions in the red zone, which you should have came away with 3 points. You have the best kicker of all time on your team.
This thing has already fucked you, and you just like you decide to do it again. Yeah,
back-to-back. I've never seen anything like that in my life. I don't know, man. You're right. And the Ravens was and your other picture. It was Ravens Packers, correct?
Packers
you're okay.
Packers
you're half. I still have both my guys.
What was the Bills?
I had Dallas. I have Dallas, who's just not looking great right now. But I have them, and I can't. Did I say Chiefs or the Bills? I thought I said the Bills. I can't
remember if you said Chiefs or Bills. I'll have to listen to the episode.
Yeah. I'll go back, but they're both still in it either way. So yeah.
I don't know if So I was looking at the schedule for this weekend, obviously, and I don't know if Dallas is going to make it out of.
No,
I think the 49ers are going to take him.
I bet that. I bet them to at least cover the 4. I mean, I felt like the Niners will keep that thing close. I think they match up really well with them because that offense it looks a tick off. It's really weird. Like, it's like, I don't know. It's like when you have like a song or something where all your audio tracks aren't quite lined up the same way. You're like, this doesn't sound how I remember it, and you have to like go in there and like zoom in and get it right. Like, something's weird. You're like, it feels so tough for an offense with that many weapons. I know they're missing Gallup, but that shouldn't derail your entire offense.
So here's the little thing. The Cowboys beat, you remember when they beat the Patriots in overtime?
Yeah. Great game.
It was week 6, CeeDee Lamb, big throw.
Sure.
All right. So since then, they were 6-1 against teams that didn't make the playoffs.
Okay.
And they were 1-3 against teams that did make the playoffs. The only win was against the Eagles in week 18 when they were resting everybody.
Yeah.
So the Cowboys.
The Giants. I think they beat the Giants like twice or something with Mike Glennon. Yeah.
NFC East is not pretty right now. And so they're coming in definitely like the Cowboys. So like almost always come into the playoffs, like overrated, stumbling. They have this high flying offense that doesn't actually produce sometimes.
Right.
And the defense is kind of soft and got holes, and the Niners are playing very hard. They had a great win over the Rams to get in.
That was insane. I actually won a lot of money off that game. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, nice.
So I had a 3-team miracle parlay. I put $3 down on this because that's how much the good of the odd, like how crazy the odds were. So I had Jacksonville, which I want to talk about too. Jacksonville plus 700 on there, and I'm like, no, let's go full Joker mode. I put Pittsburgh on there. Pittsburgh, Baltimore. Might as well take the underdog. It's always a weird coin flip game. So I said, okay, that's got there. And then I put the Niners because the Niners own the Rams. I'm like, okay,
so
that's
you parlayed 3 underdogs who all hit. That's
$3 cool. And I won 188 on it. It makes me wish I put like $10 on it. I would have
that's the folly. That's the folly.
That's all right though. It would have been stupid, really, in retrospect, and from a process standpoint, to put $10 on that.
The $3 you put on it was stupid. You won all 3 of those bets, but just like if you had bet $1,000 on it, that would have been dumb.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Same bet,
Exactly.
Same bet.
Yeah, exactly. I hear you. Yeah. So, but nonetheless, I'm celebrating. And then my team made the playoffs that night. It was the best week 8. I'm glad. I'm all for week 18. Now that week 18 exists, my life's great. So that's
It
all
worked
I'm
out.
saying.
It worked out. I don't like that.
I was anti week 18 last time. I'm pro week 18 this time.
I don't like that the records are different now. Forever.
TJ Watt is not the sack leader of all time.
No, it's fake.
False flag didn't happen. I don't care about the Strahan Favre gentleman's agreement. That doesn't bother me. And like, I know they say TJ Watt lost 2 games to injury. That's also not my problem. I don't.
Yeah, you played the season,
Yeah, you got hurt against Alex Leatherwood, the worst right tackle in the league. Against I mean, like, what did you? Okay,
he did have a pretty incredible season, and the Steelers are in there.
He's awesome.
He won them at least 3 or 4 games just with individual plays down the stretch.
And Jackson, I'm sorry. I just wanted to. We'll get to the Steelers. Yeah. We'll get to the Steelers. But the teams that are not in the playoffs, the Colts have to be the biggest disappointment to not get in the playoffs. Them and the Chargers, I would say, are the 2 teams. Like, how did these 2 teams, who at the beginning of the year the Colts were bad and they might have dug themselves a bit too much of a hole, but they lost to the Raiders in a very close game. Close game, pretty evenly matched teams. They lose a close game. That's fine. All you have to do is beat Jacksonville the next week, right? No problem. Easy money. Trevor Lawrence had a heck of a game. I watched that entire game. Trevor Lawrence actually really showed out. It was really good if you're a Jaguars fan, because he has not looked amazing, although I do think the tools are there. It all looks there. He just has.
I think he's going to be okay. It wasn't a good year for
no, and yeah, I mean, how do you? I mean, with Urban Meyer, that was just a recipe for disaster. So you try that over again. Carson Wentz is awful. Like, oh my God, like you traded a first round pick for Carson Wentz. Now the Eagles, who have a quarterback who played better than Carson Wentz this year, Jalen Hurts, objectively, and then you get 3 first-round picks next year. So, yeah, kind of sad situation to be the Colts.
Terrible pick. So the Patriots in Week 17 hung 50 points on the Jaguars. I had to check that just to make sure.
Yeah, it was insane. Yeah, it was just like, how weird.
And then, all the Colts have to do, it's like a layup drill to beat the Jaguars and like get in. And I gotta say, I'm happy because Carson Wentz was wearing a mask on the sideline this whole season. Yeah. It's all right, whatever, you're wearing a mask. And I guess he's had his shots as well. And he came down.
Oh, I thought he didn't get his shots.
No, he did, and that's why he was able to come back so quickly.
I see.
He didn't have to miss a game. I am pretty sure.
No, I think he's unvaxxed, and they changed the protocol when that happened to 5 days, no matter what your status is.
Oh, the protocol changed.
But you have to wear. But you have to wear a mask. Yeah, as of December 28th, he's unvaccinated. So
okay, well, he's been masking the whole season anyway.
You have to
on the sidelines.
You have to.
No. Other quarterbacks have not been doing it.
No, unvaccinated players have to wear masks on the side. I mean, yeah, it's all about does it get enforced, but Lamar does the same thing. I mean, but Rodgers doesn't. But Rodgers doesn't give a shit. But I guess
that's Wisconsin versus.
It's the rule, though. It is the. I knew that rule going in. I mean, it's like, it's not the most enforced thing, but I do think, like, I don't know. To me, like Carson Wentz, I mean, if you're unvaccinated, there's no way he's gonna like wear a mask. I mean, he's not. Those 2 ideologies don't usually line up to me as far as like, but I never leave without my mask. Like, so I just I don't know something. I'm sorry, I've derailed your point, but he is unvaxxed. I do have that.
Okay, if you have that right. That's fair enough, but I guess I still don't. It sucks. He's stuck out to me for the year as a quarterback who was wearing a mask all the time. And Lamar, I felt like that was Baltimore. It's a different story. He's in Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody there gives a shit. I don't know. I didn't like him. Jonathan Taylor is a hell of a running back.
Mm-hmm. Good offensive line.
Mm-hmm. Wentz was overrated on Philly. He was overrated in the middle of this year.
Sure.
It's pretty funny that they had Hard Knocks filming them. I haven't watched it, but
I'm gonna binge it though, because I want to see the Raider. I want to see the Raider week. I want to see that, so I'm gonna binge them probably in the off season.
And it's pretty cool. It'll be like the Anthony Weiner documentary.
Yeah, you just know the ending. Yeah, it's not great, but that's a team that doesn't get in. And then some teams fire their coach, right? Some teams fire their coach. As of today, which is Wednesday, January 12th, the Joe Judge has been fired today, which I don't know if anybody saw what Joe Judge did in the weekend. He, on 3rd and 9 from his own 4-yard line, 3rd and 9, season's over, I don't know, does a quarterback sneak that gains 1 yard from there, and everybody's just booing. It's New York. I mean, it's been a frustrating year. Now they do have 2 first-round picks. Were they tanking? I don't know. I didn't seem like a tanking move. It seemed like I just, let's wrap up the season. But he got fired for that, is what they were saying, is what a lot of the beat writers are saying in New York. He got fired because of they were going to keep him.
I think it's a straw that broke the camel's back situation. Obviously, sure. If that was the only fuck up, there would have been like, all right, whatever. But
yeah, Gettleman retires. Him and they have both fired up top. They fired both.
Daniel Jones is not the quarterback of the future.
Oh, are you not a DJ truther like I am? I think he's good. I think he's
all right.
I think he's good. I think who I think he should be? The next Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback. I think he's like very like Roethlisberger-y in that sense.
That could work.
Where he does circus like dumb mistakes sometimes, but then like when it's good, I just like with the ball. I'm a sucker when the ball comes out of a hand really nice and goes to a receiver a few times. And if I've had a few beers watching it on like a primetime game, I'm just like, this guy's great, He
makes a lot of poor decisions.
So stupid. He's so stupid sometimes.
Turnovers. And then for the Giants as well, Saquon, it's a shame, he's injury prone. He had a tough ankle roll up that set him back again this year. Giants are in real trouble, and it sucks at the beginning of I don't like the Giants, but at the beginning of the season, they had some good receivers.
Sure.
And you felt like maybe they were going to compete, and they're definitely, I'll say, way worse off than the Jets, who,
you guys had a nice game against the Bucks. I thought at the end, I thought they ended the season pretty well. The Jets.
I would have liked to win it, of course, but they got a couple of pieces to build around. Good draft pick next year.
Well, and Seattle did you guys a favor by having a horrible season with the pick that they gave you guys for a box safety that can't cover anybody. So
I think Jamal Adams is an all right player.
Would never trade 2 first-round picks for a safety.
Yeah,
I only trade those. It's pretty tough for me. Even Jalen Ramsey is probably the best corner in the league, but like even then, it's like 2 first-round picks. If I'm a team that I think I know how to draft players, like you could get 2 solid players that spread out talent over your defense, but you concentrate it into one guy that you can't even really use as your deep safety, like Jamal Adams.
He's like a linebacker.
He's like a linebacker, exactly. Which I just wouldn't do that, and it's objectively has not been good for them. Like they haven't been good.
I think Adams is because he's a Jet, and I watched him
good.
as
LSU, and LSU too is great.
His first couple of years, and it was really awesome because I don't know I think he was playing with Bowles' defense, and Bowles had a good system around him that sort of protected his deficiencies. So whenever he was back in coverage, he wasn't on an island, and then you would bring him into the box all the time, just on run plays or to blitz or whatever. And they tried to do the same thing in Seattle, but I don't know. I think Pete Carroll is just like, I think he's just a step behind the coaches now. It seems like everything he tries, his opponents are ready for, and he's not ready for what his opponents are trying. I feel bad because he's been a good coach for many, many years. But that's where I put Jamal Adams not producing at the level he's expected to, is that Pete Carroll's defenses are not what they used to be,
So then you have so the Jets end the season well. You have 2. Is it top? Do you have 2 top 10s, or is it's very close to 2 top 10 picks?
I think it's 2 top 10s.
I think it is 10. I believe it is 10. The Seattle pick would be 10. I think you have number 4 and number 10, which is very, very nice position to be in. I look at some mock drafts, and those don't mean anything, but you just also see where the players are projected at least. And now I've seen a lot of players go. Stingley, the DB out of LSU, and then Kyle Hamilton, the safety out of Notre Dame, getting both of those, where it's like, dang, you imagine just having a secondary like that. I mean, like you don't get anything to help your quarterback, but having that secondary would be pretty crazy. That's all I'm saying.
It's a tough situation to be in, just because they're good playmakers on the offense and a couple of good pieces on defense, but there's still so many holes to fill. Sure. And you'd love to get some offensive line help.
I think that's what they should do. Yeah,
and honestly, it's just hard to know. Like every team's got their own board, and they're going to be moving things around as the process shifts out. And if you've got two high first round picks, there's going to be a lot of pressure on those. Jets have never really been a good team in the draft, so 2 first round picks kind of equals 1 for most other organizations.
100%.
We'll see how it goes, but again, they're not the worst New York team right now. So
no, I would say this. I would say I was in my head thinking like, okay, of the top 5 teams in the draft, let's see, like 2022 NFL draft order.
It's going to be like Washington
order. I was just thinking like, what situation for me if I was a coach? Say all of these. So, or who do I think gets it turned around the fastest? Right. I guess is who I'm thinking, because my Raiders have been there a lot. You know, I mean, like they've been there a lot. So I'm always like having those fantasies of like fixing a team overnight, like how cool that could be, Detroit, and
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville is number 1, Detroit is number 2, Houston's number 3, Jets are number 4, and Giants are number 5. So if I could power rank these as teams I think that are in the best shape, I will have. This is weird. I called this on another show that I did the other day. But this one will come out first. So this will be the official prediction. I'm calling the restore the roar to the Lions. We are restoring the roar. They're going to be back. Like within the next 3 to 4 years, they will have a division title, and they might even be a wild card team before that. I think this team's set up, man. I've been watching them all year. They're fun. They're really fun. They battle with zero talent. Like nothing.
They fight really hard,
and they have 2 picks over the next 2 drafts because of the Stafford pay. They have 2 first rounders for the next 2 years over Stafford. Now you got to find a quarterback. They don't have their long-term quarterback. That's going to be the issue here. And but I like Dan Campbell. I think he just seems like a fun coach. We've talked about him. I think he's going to be really fun. Now, but we're going to restore the roar within 4 years. However, I will say the Jets are the second best of that team in the situation because I'm going to say this. I'm not the biggest Zach Wilson guy, but he is a guy you can win with on a cheap rookie contract. There's no way that in the next 5 years, it's going to be necessarily his fault that they haven't built at least a playoff caliber team, right? I think he's going to be able
it's just like with the history of Jets quarterbacks. It's not going to be
okay.
Good. It's just not going to be good because he's playable. He showed that he has some pocket presence and some ability to get the ball down the field, but just the game situations are just out of control, and that's why I wouldn't actually put them at the top there. I would put the Jaguars ahead of them. Absolutely.
Would you?
Just because of Trevor Lawrence.
Oh yeah, but the rest of that team is so bad.
I know, but if the Jets have this guy Solly, who's like a defensive-minded coordinator, right? That's his whole. He's the defensive guy, last in yards defense. So okay,
yeah.
That's
you're one. You're one.
No. But he's like, it's like if you get the offensive mastermind and year 1 he comes in and has the worst offense in the league, you're going to start to wonder what if maybe you did something wrong. And it just also shows how dog shit the Jets are, that they can be coming off a 4-13 season. And everybody's like, all right, yeah, like that's way to go, guys.
They were like in a bad spot. And I'm just a little more surprised. I actually like Zach Wilson more than I did at the beginning of the year.
Oh, me too, definitely.
Like at the beginning of the year, I was like, yo, that's going to be like Trubisky level bad, in my opinion.
That's what I thought. It still could be.
No, he's just a better thrower of the football than Trubisky.
I mean, not Trubisky. Yeah, but.
And look what the Bears did with Trubisky, by the way. They could have very well made a run in that year where the double doink happened. So that's all I'm saying. Like the Jets, they had Mark Sanchez in back-to-back AFC title games, right? I mean, or at least playoff games.
Back-to-back AFC title games, absolutely.
Yeah, they had all that stuff, but
those are 3 teams with world-class defenses.
And you got your guy, you got your defensive coordinator, and you got 2 first-round picks. That's why I say, hey, might as well put it on defense, right? Here's my defensive mastermind coach. If I'm going to cycle through offensive coordinators every year, if I have a good one, if you're a defensive-minded coach. The reason a lot of teams don't hire a defensive-minded coach is because if you do hire the right offensive coordinator for him, he's going to get the head coaching job almost instantly after he has a good season. Because that's the way teams pluck, and you have to constantly So might as well just build up like an all-class defense. You know what I'm saying? Like, and get that. So guess what, man? I like your team, dude. I like your team. I think they're going to be good. I think they're going to be, I think they're Houston Texans are like the job I just won't even touch with it, anything. Like, I just like this team is bad, man. Like, it's a bad
They're
team.
in trouble. They're in trouble.
And the Giants too, honestly, like, because they have to make the Daniel Jones decision, which is tough. They're very tough. Them and that maybe not this year. They don't have to do that, but at the end of the day, like, you kind of know he's kind of a known quantity. I know guys like I like Daniel Jones, but he's a known quantity for the Giants. For the Giants, I don't like Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones needs to go to like the Panthers or like some random team where you could just forget, like, oh shit, Daniel Jones is on the Panthers. Damn, he's playing well. Like, you want that situation to happen to him. It's not going to happen in New York. So I say I go Lions, my number one job. Jets would be my number two turn it around team. Jaguars 3, Giants 4, and then Texans distant 5. As far as that would,
I think as far as teams that are going to drop into that bottom rung, the Bears and the Dolphins are both making big coaching changes. Mm-hmm. Dolphins is a pretty interesting one. I guess I read up a little bit on how the personnel.
That was an interesting move. I'm glad you brought that up.
I guess Flores just didn't like Tua, and that was like the beginning of the end.
Can you blame him?
GM? No, not at all.
Yeah, that's a weird move to get rid of him. The guy, if the Dolphins had Justin Herbert, they are like a machine if they have Justin Herbert.
And Flores was able to get, like, last time I was on here, I was saying he sucked, and they pulled out like 7 wins in a row, 8 wins in a row or something.
And their defense looks good. I like their defense a lot.
So I think they're in trouble. They're in big trouble because they're going to have to make a big shift and some new coach with a new offensive coordinator and Tua, and it's just like, it could get ugly fast. And
Tua doesn't have that arm either. Like, just like when I watch the ball come out of his hand, it's not whipping out of his hand. Like, at Alabama, I was like, man, this guy's got a decent arm. Like, it's very accurate, but he just in the NFL, he looks like really small. Like, I know he's small, but he looks really small in the NFL. Like, it looks like when you like shrink Mario after he was already kind of big, and you shrink him and you're down to your last life. Like that's you're like, well, I can't make any mistakes because I have little Mario, and that's what that reminds me of. That was insane to me because they kept the GM. I mean, they didn't have to admit that it was for Tua for me to know that it was about Tua, because you keep the GM who drafted Tua over Justin Herbert, and he's still there. I can't say that I like Jalen Waddle a lot. I think he's great, but it was
a good move once you have to do something with it. It makes sense.
You have that, and then you get the pick. I think they have two firsts because of the Niners for Trey Lance, and they traded one of them for Philly to go get Waddle. So I mean, they're making some moves, but you get that's another one. Denver is another coaching job that I can't decide if that's I think
the team's up for sale too.
It is, the Peyton or whatever they are. They're selling. So
that's and once they got rid of Von Miller, even as they were in a position to make a run at the playoffs, it kind of felt like, okay, something's going on in Denver, and they don't have a quarterback that they're gonna. I mean, maybe Teddy Bridgewater will start next year, but he's not like the long-term solution.
No, not at all. They're going to have to, they're in a position where this draft is not being, I mean, you never know until they play, but it's not being hyped as a good quarterback class. It's not at all. Like it's,
I don't really see any,
nobody I have to get like, if I needed a quarterback, I'd trade the farm for this guy. I'm
sure someone's going to come out of the third round and surprise us.
Sure.
But as far as the top flight quarterbacks go, it's not.
If you are a top 5 drafting team like the Houston Texans and you're like, I absolutely need to get a quarterback this year, simply to put like fans in the crowd to like watch something, like it's just a tough year for that. So you're looking at
I would trade down, honestly. I would trade down for
but who wants to trade up if there's no quarterback? Yeah, that's the thing. Like you have to, like that would be my move for your Jets, would be to take that 10th pick and turn it into like 3 or 4 picks from there, get a later first, and then turn that in. Like, if you're bad at drafting, get more throws at the dartboard. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah,
that's the way I don't get that 6th overall pick and then you just blow it. You know what I mean? Like,
hey, I've seen it happen.
Me too, many times. We took Cleveland Farrell 4th overall in 2019. Like I remember, it's bone jarring when it happens. And so okay, so let's go to the playoffs.
Yeah,
playoff
let's
games.
do playoff games.
Playoff games. Stop talking about losing. All right, let's go to the playoff games.
Winners.
The winner circle for now. Playoff games, week 1. I'm getting.
You want to just go like chronologically?
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, so I guess we're starting with my Raiders because they are the
Raiders.
first. Start with the first one. I need you to calm my nerves about this game because I am starting to get almost a Homer Simpson licking the chili pepper level of psychedelic confidence.
Well, okay, so I have a question to ask about this game.
Okay.
I'm not gonna. This will calm your nerves or not, depending on your answer. Do you think that the Raiders are going to be able to keep the Bengals under 100 rush yards?
Yes.
Okay,
I think so.
Mm-hmm. The Bengals' formula to win is to hit that number.
Mm-hmm.
They hit that number with Mixon. They're 6-1. The first game against Vegas, Mixon had 120 something.
And most of it was on one run too. It was a huge 60-yard run that when the game was kind of out of hand too. Yeah, it was that game was you look at the final score of that game and it was kind of ugly, but it was a 1-possession game in the fourth quarter. And then
but the ball control was pretty lopsided.
Sure, no, they were just it wasn't they didn't play well in that game. However, they held Joe Burrow to 146 passing yards in that game, which was good. They did play them well, and My buddy that I just talked to, he's a Raider fan. We just did a stream today, and he said that he's a big quarterback guy. He has a whole nother podcast, literally just about quarterbacks. That's all it is. He just talks about quarterbacks. It's a big thing. He's been kind of a Burrow guy. He likes Burrow, but he thinks Joe Burrow does not have arm strength for the cold weather. Which is true because if you watched what happened in the Raider games, and this is where my Homer Simpson psychedelic pepper weird visions that I'm seeing right now that probably won't even happen. But you see Joe, if you look at the late touchdown, the throw that almost sent me to the hospital that Justin Herbert did on 4th and 21, where he zipped it into the end zone to make it a one-score game. I mean, that thing had flames coming off of it. It was just oh my god! Herbert has a cannon. Probably could have maybe the best arm in the league. Just we were talking about just a very, very just throwing a fastball. And so Burrow does not have that, especially in the cold weather. So if the Raiders do like to play that soft zone, which drives me insane, but I'm not sure Burrow has the fastball to fit it in there. Because if they play just man coverage on Jamar Chase, they're going to get torched.
But that's the thing. He's not really fitting it in there. He's throwing it up to his man. The connection between Burrow and Chase is probably the best.
No, it's true.
Outside of Rodgers and Adams.
It's good. It's good. Yeah, no lies. No lies whatsoever.
He's got 1,455 yards Jamar Chase has receiving on the year.
Yeah,
I didn't know. 13 touchdowns.
So he must be tired, is what you're saying, and he might just be. He's huffing and puffing. Hey guys, it's a long season. I'm used to college. Yeah,
I think it's a very okay. So first of all, Rich Bisaccia, Coach of the Year, no question. Incredible job getting the Raiders to the playoffs. I counted them out along with everybody else.
Yeah, crazy.
And they just did it. And Carr, awesome. Darren Waller's a great player. Renfro is a great.
And we didn't have him. Now we have him. We have Darren Waller now. We didn't have him for 5 games. Yeah.
Yeah, and you were winning without him. It was a very, very impressive season, all things considered. But this is a tough draw. The Bengals are a tough team. The thing you want to be happy about is that they've lost. They've got some head scratching losses, right? They lost to the Jets. They lost to the Browns twice.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Mike White took him down, did he not? Was that?
But that was one of the greatest performances in football history.
Hey, no, I agree.
By one of the greatest men to ever don a helmet. Anyway, we don't need to.
Indisputable. You can't even. Yeah, I couldn't even push back if I wanted to.
We don't need to talk about Mike White. It makes me sad. It's gonna make me sad.
Get weak in the knees when I start talking about Mike White. Yeah, but so this one. Okay, I have, if I'm doing a percentage, I have the Raiders at a 40% chance to win this game. I think it's 60-40 Bengals. I think that's going to be the case. The issue that is at hand for the Bengals is that the Raiders are red hot right now. And when I say red hot, they're winning. It doesn't look like a well-oiled machine, but they're winning.
But they have some sort of like belief.
They're getting
going.
pressure. They're getting great pressure on the quarterback, and Burrow is the most sacked quarterback in the league. So sometimes that ball might spill out every once in a while. It's weird. Playoff games are weird. You know what I mean? Things might happen. Max Crosby's playing out of his mind the last few, pretty much this whole year. And then they don't have the best offensive line. Now, what I will say is what's going to happen with the Raiders is the Raiders have an insanely good record. I don't know what it is, but they have I think 3 or fewer losses when Josh Jacobs gets 25 plus carries. The yards are out of the question, but when he has 25 plus carries, they win a lot of games. And Josh Jacobs,
like ball control, probably.
Josh Jacobs has been playing very well though, and he woke up the last couple of weeks. He did not have a good year this year, but he has woke up the last couple of weeks. In the overtime, he was a madman against the Chargers. He was just like, and the Bengals aren't known for their run defense either. So you can see. What I can see is what I'm trying to tell you is that don't be surprised. Derek Carr's never played a playoff game before. If everybody remembers, he famously got hurt on Christmas Eve, and so I was not excited. I've really never been excited for a Raider playoff game in my life, because even when they were in the early 2000s, I was very much just I hope my team wins, because I was so young. It's nice, not the excitement that I get now as a rab.
I think you have every right to be excited. The way that, like, if you look back. All right, they lose to the Chiefs in Kansas City.
Blown out.
Horrible game. They're 6-7. That could be the end of the season.
Oh, yeah.
Every single game after that is an elimination game for them. Mm-hmm. And against teams that basically they knocked out of the playoffs. Browns, Broncos, Colts, and Chargers are all out of the postseason. Yep. The Raiders sort of made them all stumble one by one. Incredible run at the end of the season. And they are looking good. I just think the way the Bengals took apart the Chiefs, just with Jamar Chase,
sure,
and it's like, you're not going to stop this,
No, and maybe not. Now, what I will say is there's always one quarterback every single year. Now, this is the point I was getting to about Derek Carr. There's one quarterback every year that has a 2012 Joe Flacco moment where he just goes like insane, like just like blackout brain. Like, you can't stop me. Who is this guy? Nick Foles, also from the same kind of situation.
Yeah.
Derek Carr has 29 career comeback wins in the fourth quarter. And you stack that up against guys like Dan Marino and even John Elway. Not to be said, that means you're losing a lot and you come from behind. I understand that. Like that's the case. But these guys have
but Brady has a lot of those game-winning drives too. And
when the Raiders keep the game within one score in the fourth quarter, I feel good about Derek Carr. Where Derek Carr pisses me off is when he fumbles the game away in the third quarter. That's what kills me when it gets to a 20-point, 3-possession game in the third quarter after you played a tight-knit first half. So if they keep it close, and the Bengals rested everybody last week, and rest is interesting. The rest versus rust debate is always
bite you.
It can bite you, especially when it's your first career playoff game for your quarterback, first career playoff game for your wide receiver, first career playoff game for your head coach. The Bengals have no playoff experience on their roster. It's crazy. If you look everywhere, like, it's great. Now the Raiders have a few.
They have no playoff experience, but they have a lot of swagger. They're
fun. They're fun, and they're going to be dangerous for a while. Yeah.
So I think you're right. 60-40. It's probably where I'd put it. Maybe I'd even give the Raiders a little bit.
40. Give me 40. 40.
Yeah.
40. Bengals are favored for a reason. They're favored. Yeah.
Totally. I think the key is the rush yards. I really do. I think if the Bengals are able to move the ball on the ground, then you open up all the fucking big plays and ball control, and then David Carr presses
I'm with you. It's all about who has the lead in that game and how they protect it in the fourth quarter with their run game. I think you're absolutely right. So moving on, the night game, which is one of my favorite of these matchups, is Patriots at Bills. This is a very, very fun rivalry that they've got going this year. You had the two meetings before. You had the Patriots Bills play the windiest game I've ever seen in my life on Monday Night
Incredible
Football.
Game. Classic.
Incredible. Yeah, absolute leatherheads, 1940s, like Brown.
It was like Ivy League football.
Yeah. Brown versus Yale in the storm. Yeah, just awesome stuff where you had like presidents playing in the game, and then that was what that kind of like Gerald Ford. Like I picture like Gerald Ford playing in that game or something. Like very. That was fun. And then you get a better weather game. And I say that by East Coast standards in December. You have a better weather game and the Bills kind of just took it to the Patriots and dominated that game. Mac Jones' first career playoff game. Josh Allen's been here a couple times. Where are you at on Patriots versus Bills? The line is Bills -4, by the way.
So I looked. It's the only game I did this for, but I wanted to look up the weather. Forecast in Buffalo on Saturday is a high of 10.
Woo.
Little bit of wind. Nothing too crazy. No precipitation, but a high of 10. So I think that, all right, I think Belichick and that win was a great example. He did a wonderful job protecting Mac Jones all year and keeping the game out of his hands and keeping the game that he had to play, manageable and not intimidating. So he was able to get up to speed. They did a great job. But after the Patriots win streak, after their bye, they really didn't. They really haven't been able to pick it back up again. And this is going to be a game where they're not going to be able to win with Mac Jones throwing 3 times. Josh Allen.
No.
Is going to be prepared. This isn't, this is cold weather. This is not like a typhoon. So he's going to be ready for this. I think the Bills are going to walk. It's maybe stupid because you don't want to count out Belichick. And I would expect him to call a bunch of really crazy shit, like fake field goals, wide receiver passes, all sorts of shit that you never seen. Like, because again, he's going to try and take the game out of Mac Jones's hands as much as he can, but the defense can't control Buffalo's attack right now. Josh Allen's got him figured out. And
I'm okay. I think the Bills are going to win the game. However, I am going to make a case for the Patriots here. I am going to make a case because I am a proud Patriots +4 ticket holder for this game. I liked it outside of field goal. I said whoever gets the field goal spotted to them, whoever gets the field goal spotted to them, I'm taking, because I actually do see a close game happening here. I could see a Josh Allen meltdown game, especially against the Bills. I understand that Josh Allen played really well against Belichick's defense, but quarterbacks, when I've seen somebody shred a Belichick defense, the next time they play, they didn't shred them.
He gets pissed. Yeah,
he gets pissed. He's very Saban, very, very. They're very. I mean, I'm not good to say Saban right now because he got his ass kicked in the.
Well, that was a great effort by the
Bulldogs. Incredible effort. Yeah. But anyways, the guys on the Patriots, I think they're going to have a plan for Diggs. I think they're going to make them beat him with Gabriel Davis, Cole Beasley, and Emmanuel Sanders. They're going to have to beat him with that. And I also think that the Bills cannot run the ball. And I think in the playoffs, the teams that you see, good quarterbacks have to make clutch throws. However, to move the chains, you are going to have to run the ball. And the Patriots,
who can run the ball? It's Josh Allen.
He can, and that's what's going to have to happen. You're going to need that. You're going to need the 3rd and 8 Josh Allen scramble out of his mind, crazy throwback across his body to some wide open guy. You need those plays, or else I don't think it happens. I truly think that you are going to see a lot of Damian Harris running down the Bills' throat, because I do think that they're going to be able to do it. And like I said, I think Mac Jones is going to be able to make a decent amount of throws. However, he has been putting the ball in harm's way. Teams are pressing up on wide receivers and taking away his checkdowns and making him throw down the field. So he's going to have to connect on something down the field. He's going to have to put his big boy pants on and make some big throws. But this is Belichick's first playoff game ever without Tom Brady, ever. Yeah, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I guess he had the one with Matt Castle, right? But no. I don't know. Did they?
Oh, he must have. Yeah, he must have
because they were 11-5 that year. Yeah, they had to.
They won the division.
Yeah. So nonetheless, okay. Not his first playoff game without Brady in quite some time. So he's gonna be looking. He knows that he's gonna play cool, calm. Oh, this doesn't matter. I don't care. He cares. It's a very big deal. And I think the Patriots are gonna show up in this game. You could be right. I could see Bills winning by 2 points at a last second field goal. Could absolutely see it. But yeah, I'm leaning Pats here, and I just when they broke up Brady and Belichick, I started liking both of them a lot more. Like I started like, I know you're in the division, it's different, but I got more hatred for Belichick, I guess. Sure,
I do think that he's a brilliant football coach. I just don't think that, like, you can't assume that Mac Jones is going to have to make, I think, like five deep throws and maybe hit 3 extremely tight windows on an out or across the middle or something like that. Like he's going to have to make a dozen throws that are all the best throw of his career.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that I think Josh Allen is going to be able to command the offense. And yeah, with his legs sort of force Belichick to play some zones because you can't man up and then he's just going to run it on you. And then I just I could see it getting away from the Patriots. I couldn't see it getting away from the Bills. You know what I mean?
So every Bills game I've watched, I don't have any data to support this. Just Bills games I've watched, they have started really slow and been just weird for like 3 quarters, and then Allen has like an insane fourth quarter. Now I think Josh, the tables have turned, and that Josh Allen has to play 4 quarters of football to beat this. Because I think if it's anywhere close in the fourth quarter, I don't think that all of a sudden the Patriots defense opens up. Now it happened last time, but like I said, that's on tape. All that's on tape. And right. Belichick probably has that clockwork oranging in his brain right now. Like there is no way that he's not just like they're the new guys in the division. I gotta stop Josh. I don't have Brady anymore. Josh Allen's the best quarterback in my division. I'm not used to that.
Top dog.
Yeah, I'm not used to that. You know, like as this guy. So I'm just saying I picked the Patriots. You're probably right. You're probably right that the Bills are gonna win. But this is gonna be I think it's gonna be a fun game, man. Like really fun, old school Yale Brown football game. Won't be the same weather, but you're going to get that kind of physicality and just piles being pushed and stuff. I think that's where we're at. So I'm picking
Bills with a bunch of crazy shit from Belichick that maybe half of it works. Maybe it keeps it interesting. But keep the Bills in a walk. Bills in a walk. All right.
Okay, there you go. Perfect. So and we're both on the Bengals. I think the Bengals are going to win, personally, by the way. So I'm going to pay.
I think that one's a close game. I think it's close.
No, but I'm just picking the Bengals. I want to make sure because I like to come back to this stuff. We both picked the Bengals. However, we differ on Patriots Bills. I think I'm going to take the Patriots to win.
Right. Since we're going Saturday to Sunday, I'm going to go grab another beer.
Do it. Yeah, do it. I'm going to do the exact same thing, actually. So. Right. Okay, Sunday games. This one's fun. I am ringing the upset alert alarm. Philadelphia.
I can't believe it. I'm gonna do the same fucking thing.
Yeah. No.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. I think that Tampa's gonna find a way to weasel their way in through this one. But there is like a very, very close to 50-50 chance that the Eagles go to Tampa, run the ball down Tampa's throat. Jalen Hurts makes a couple miracle plays, and Tom Brady has one of those weird first round of the playoff games like he had against Washington, where just nothing looked right.
Or against Baltimore a bunch of years ago. Yep.
You have Antonio Brown situation happening, and then this, as much as I talk about the odds stacked against them, that usually just makes Brady's, DVD Super Bowl thing way cooler and more interesting. So I when he wins with Ken Burrell Tompkins and I don't know. Insert receiver here. N'Keal Harry and these guys, but you have the Eagles. I already hammered the Eagles +9. I took that already.
That spread is ridiculous.
You're getting me 9, and maybe I'm wrong. The Eagles are not that good. I'm going to say that much. They're
the number 1 rush offense in the NFL.
They are
number 1 in the NFL.
But if you look at their wins, they have very much played some Garrett Gilbert led quarterbacks. Mike Glennon. They've had the Dallas. They are 0-6
against teams that made the playoffs.
Right. So you have that. That's an issue. That's a problem. That's an issue. However, it's an issue. We have the red flag for them on that one.
Totally.
Tampa is not playing good football right now.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, you just saw them. You had a good look at them recently in week 18, or was it week 7?
17 against
17 when they won on that last little, whatever.
I mean, they gave up 150 rush yards to the Jets.
Crazy, man.
That's not how it's supposed to go. The Antonio Brown thing was like, I don't want to get into anything about him personally, but it definitely for the team is going to be like it's not what you want to have happen, 2 weeks before the playoffs. It's like,
especially when you lose Chris Godwin.
Bad vibes in the locker room.
Yeah, and he needed to have a big role. He needed to have a bigger role. He couldn't just be their third receiver. He was going to have to be their 2 receiver.
Yeah, and then like Fournette is like banged up. Gronk is banged up. Mike Evans is even like a little banged up.
Yeah.
So I think it's a sneaky tough game for the Bucks. It's a tough matchup. the Eagles are a weird team. They're going to be hard to scout, hard to prepare for. I think they have. I think they have some real talent. I think
they're fun.
Their wide receivers are fun. I think it's just fun to watch them. It was fun to watch them make the playoffs. Out of nowhere. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I agree. They're fun, and I think that now the reason, from a gambling perspective, Jalen Hurts is the garbage time king. So even if this game does get out of hand, he's had some great backdoor coverage.
He's going to close that spread on the back
end. 100%. He's used to pleasing Alabama and Oklahoma boosters by covering in college. He's very used to pleasing those people. So he knows how to cover a spread. I do like that. But yeah, from an outright win, man, it's hard to ever picture Brady leaving in the first round. It's very hard.
You can't bet against him. You can't bet that he's going to lose the game.
I'll never take the money line, but I would not be shocked. Would not be shocked.
Right. Wouldn't be shocked either. I think that the Bucs have this. They had all the pieces in place to defend the title, and it just health is such a big thing for your roster going into the playoffs, and they're really just not in a good situation. Ideally, you'd want all you guys healthy, rested, and nobody quitting in the middle of a game. Like an awesome fucking person. Anyway,
exactly. Great guy. But the thing about Hurts too is I think he can tire out that defensive line early. Mm-hmm. And I think you can, and again, they have a three-headed monster at running back. They got Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, and then I forget who the other guy is. Is it Kenneth Gainwell? Yeah, those guys they're fun. They have a fun backfield. They have Darius Slay at corner. They have some decent corners back there, and they play a little zone, so that might be tough because Brady will pick apart your zone. And also, little storyline thing is Brady seething at the Philadelphia Eagles from that Super Bowl a few years ago. Maybe you get scorched earth Brady mode.
He might not want to lose to Philly again. That's a good point.
That just entered my head right now. That was not a thought I had before.
I hadn't thought about that, but I think that, well, we've covered it, but it's a tougher matchup than people think. Yeah. Maybe we both are going to look stupid and the Eagles are just going to get washed by the great Tom Brady and it won't be a close game. But Jalen Hurts is a good, interesting quarterback. He leads the team in rushing, and he can actually put Bulls and the Bucs defense in a weird position where they're going to have to try and get him off the field to get Brady back on. And it's just like, I didn't like the spread when I saw it, so crazy, I think man. It's going to be a good game. At the very least,
I agree. So, are you formally picking the Buccaneers or the Eagles to win this?
I'll go ahead and pick the Eagles to win it because fuck Tom Brady, fuck Boston, fuck New England, and it was nice to see him win a Super Bowl last year. But I've had enough.
I've had enough too. Well, I'm picking the Eagles. What am I going to do? Hype this whole thing up and then pick the Bucs? No, I can't do that, man. So anyways, the next one, which I think this is actually game of the week. I think this is going to be fun. Yeah, I like the over in this game. I don't even know what the number is. I haven't looked at it, but I like the over because I think there's going to be big plays everywhere. Both these defenses are good, but both these defenses are aggressive, and both offenses have yards after the catch guys. Good running backs that can make you pay if you get aggressive. So I do like that. Now, that being said, anytime the Niners get to the playoffs, they are rarely eliminated in the first round. It just doesn't happen. When they get in, they leak into the playoffs. They have the running game. Deebo Samuel is one of the scariest people I've ever seen with the ball in his hand. Like, oh my God.
Deebo Samuel and so I was thinking, sorry to interrupt, but I was thinking Deebo Samuel and Kittle, I think, are every bit as good on their own as Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce.
So and in a more blue collar way too. Like
you're not talking about Patrick Mahomes throwing them the ball. Yeah, so these guys are incredible football players. Players.
And then Brandon Ayuk's having a really nice second half of the year. He's been really good, and just that Shanahan system where it's short pass, run. That's a very good system. I'll put it this way: they lost to the Rams, and George Kittle had 7 catches for 10 yards against the Rams. So I don't know if the Cowboys have what the Rams have to stop George Kittle, and that's a little scary. That gets a little bit scary for the Cowboys. Now, okay, flip side to the Cowboys. I don't want to make them some Lifetime movie victim here. They're a team of grown men that have a lot of talent, and they have just as much talent as the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, they're not as well coached. Dak, who I absolutely love Dak.
Great comeback from that horrible injury. You know, it was
I
good
love
to
him.
see him.
I think he's great.
Yeah.
I really enjoy watching him play. That's the style of quarterback that I like, is a guy that can use his legs but chooses to work from the pocket. I like them. I love that style of play. I like CeeDee Lamb a lot.
He's a great 88 on the Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb, great 88 on that.
Yeah. And even though I think Amari Cooper's a tad overrated, he's still a very good receiver in the NFL. You have
they got all three of those receivers out there. It's a great fucking
exactly. And Cedric Wilson's been doing some nice things for them in the absence of Michael Gallup. And then you have arrested Tony Pollard, who was hurt going towards the end of the year. So you should technically have a healthy Tony Pollard, who I think the last time they played, Tony Pollard had 3 touchdowns against the Niners. So that might be Zeke doesn't seem like he has the wheels anymore. Tony Pollard
got too much miles.
Tony Pollard has that juice when you get to the outside. So you're gonna have to find a way to run the ball on this team. You don't, and they do have a good answer for Nick Bosa, which a lot of teams don't. The Cowboys do have that good offensive line. So if you weather the Niners pass rush, because if you watched the game against the Rams when they're up 17-0, and the problem right away was that there was a sack on Matthew Stafford when the Rams were up 17-0, and then the Niners get that ball, push it for a field goal to make it 17-3 at the half. Not a big deal, right?
End of the half,
but that opened up a floodgate for just pressure the rest of the game on Stafford, and they just had nothing. They had nothing for him. They couldn't run the ball on him or anything.
Well, we'll get to Stafford later. I don't want to. Sorry,
yes, that's the Monday night game. So yeah. Because you're a Stafford truther like me. I agree.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There will be time for this.
Yes. His day of reckoning. Yeah, is coming. But so I like the Niners in this game. I'm going to pick the Niners to win. But if the Cowboys decide to actually play up to their talent, they should actually win this game by 7 points. It's true.
I think the Niners are going to win as well. I take them to win. One of my best buddies is a Niners fan, and he was like saying that if you watch any defense against Jimmy Garoppolo, everybody in the world knows that he cannot throw the ball 20 yards down the field. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
And you're not worried about it. As a defensive coordinator, you know it's all going to be in front of you. It's going to be smoke screens. It's going to be
very timing,
exactly.
Quick timing.
Or Deebo Samuel's going to bomb it down the field.
Yeah.
But Jimmy Garoppolo is not going to throw a deep ball on you.
Right.
And I think very much to Kyle Shanahan's credit, they've been able to get the ball to their 2 great playmakers really consistently, really creatively. I assume that he's got a lot of really, really weird shit up his sleeve.
Oh yeah.
For the playoffs. And I think, like I was saying before, that I just think Dallas is coming in, not like they haven't beaten a good team in a very long time.
Right.
And that's just the truth. And maybe
my Raiders may have broke them on Thanksgiving, not to brag. I'm just saying.
No, that was a great game. And it was since then, that was Chiefs Raiders beat them back-to-back weeks. And then they picked up a bunch of garbage wins.
Yep.
2 against the Redskins and 1 against the Giants and
Glen
1 against the Eagles.
Yeah.
So like, I just don't think that the Cowboys are anywhere close to as good as they're being rated. I think that the Zeke being, unfortunately, just I guess took too many hits over the years and slows down at that position. It's only natural.
Sure.
And Pollard is good, but I think he's a good number 2 if you've got Zeke at 100% as the bell cow. He's not going to do it.
Yeah.
And you can bracket CeeDee Lamb and get some pressure on Dak. Like you said, he's not a run first kind of guy. So you can set the edge against him and keep him in the pocket.
Yeah.
And the Niners are going to do, I think, all of that. I really think this is a game that's shaping up for the Niners to win.
I think you're right. I think the only thing the Cowboys have going for them is to be for one, they have a lot of home run hitters on defense. They don't have a lot of singles hitters on defense. True. They have Trevon Diggs is feast or famine. If you can,
he just takes the ball. Yeah.
If Trevon Diggs guesses right, and Jimmy G has been known to put that ball in harm's way, it does happen. And if Trevon Diggs guesses right, if DeMarcus Lawrence, Micah Parsons, they have some dogs on the edge that the Rams don't. The Rams don't have those outside guys the same way. They had Donald, but you can just dedicate your entire middle of your offensive line to Aaron Donald. It's a bit different when you need your tackles to protect those guys. So I could see that happening in a way, but at the end of the day, if you don't stop that, the 7 running backs that the Niners have, or that they hand the ball to, if you don't stop that, it's not going to happen, because I think on offense, Dallas is soft. I think CeeDee Lamb is soft, and that doesn't mean he's bad. I just think he's soft. And then Amari Cooper's not a big contested catch guy. Neither of those guys, when you are up in their face, they don't make the big Calvin Johnson grab. That they get by on separation. They get by on torching you on the route, and then just running away from you after the catch. So the Niners are too physical for them.
I think they're going to out physical them. I think they're going to jam them, the receivers at the line. I think they're going to win the line of scrimmage both sides of the ball. Boom. I think the Niners are just the more physical team, and the Cowboys are coming in overrated and with a big head, and Jerry Jones is going to fire a bunch of people like he always does.
Agreed. There we go. So we both have the Niners for that one. I'm with you on that. Steelers and Chiefs. Steelers and Chiefs. Okay, I will say this right now. This seems like a safe space. I will admit it. I am a Steelers plus 12 ticket holder. I did it. I took the plus 12. I just think that all that has to happen for that 12 points to cover is for Pittsburgh to get a fluke touchdown.
At the fourth quarter, at the beginning,
or even at the beginning of the game, just go up 7-0 to where like the Chiefs have to score like 3 touchdowns for you to get out of cover. Like just like that to cover the 12. I mean, we're not talking about winning here. That's the only thing. And the last time these two teams met, it got ugly. However, TJ Watt, who we say is not the sack leader, we've already
officially not even an asterisk.
You should have done it. You should have done it in week 17 if you wanted me to even acknowledge it. So nonetheless, you have
Roger Maris ass bitch.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, dude. OJ Simpson's the only 2,000-yard rusher that ever happened in the NFL.
Yeah, OJ Simpson's the only running back that ever happened in the NFL.
He killed it. Yeah. Nonetheless, you have the Steelers, who the weird thing about the Steelers is the Steelers always might seem to hang around in a game. That's why I like, they're always like, okay, like they're losing by 8 points and it does not look like they're going to win this game. Like, they need so much stuff to happen. But, one thing I will say about the Chiefs defense, and I think the Chiefs are still the favorites in the AFC, even more than the Tennessee Titans, who are the most forgotten about number 1 seed I've ever heard in my life. The Tennessee Titans. Nobody's thinking about the Tennessee Titans at all. And they're getting healthy Derrick Henry back, and they have a bye week, which if there's any team that needed that bye week, it's Tennessee to get AJ Brown, all those guys some rest.
The only other coach of the year candidate to me is Vrabel for what he did picking up that team after
they've used
Henry
87 players. That's 87 players this year. That's unbelievable. Guys with hyphens in their names, which is never a good sign. And you have like it's crazy. So you have the Steelers and the Chiefs, and the Chiefs, I will say their defense, I believe, has come back to earth these last couple of weeks. They've looked a little, because they had this weird resurgence, and my Raiders caused that, unfortunately. Like where they had this, like, oh my God, they have a good defense now.
And like, Reid has a great defense.
This is so weird. Yeah. But in the last 2 weeks, the Bengals ripped them a new one. And then Drew Lock had rushing touchdowns. Ben's not getting rushing touchdowns, but they looked a little bit soft against Drew Lock. There was a fumble without that scoop and score fumble. They don't win that game. I don't think. Like it's a very, very odd. I'm not saying the Steelers are going to win this game, but I don't know that this is the blowout that people are saying it. It's the spread's 12. That's probably fair, but I don't know that this is the laugher game. But you still have Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin's a hell of a coach. He's going to have these guys prepared, and you're getting your defensive player of the year candidate in there that it wasn't there last time. We'll see.
I also got to say, you still have Big Ben, and you can say what you will about his numbers this season, and definitely he's not producing at the level that he was earlier in his career when he was a younger man. But those last 2 wins, against the Browns and the Ravens. Those are classic Pittsburgh Steelers wins. And honestly, classic Roethlisberger wins to get them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this stat has been passed around a lot now, but it just blew me away. In his entire career, he's started 2 games where the Steelers were not in playoff contention. In his entire career, they've been out of contention for 2 of his starts. 2.
Wow.
So this is a guy that you really just cannot count out, even in an extremely disadvantageous situation.
Like Drew Lock is not better than Ben Roethlisberger. And Drew Lock, and I understand that wasn't a playoff game. The Chiefs were already in the playoffs. Maybe they weren't playing, the absolute insane.
But you see these things on tape. It matters.
Yeah. And Najee Harris is a little banged up, but Najee Harris is a ball player, man. Let me tell you, like he's
a monster.
He's physical. He's big. The Chiefs are good, and they're well coached. Steve Spagnuolo is a great defensive coordinator. He does a good job with maybe not the most talent on defense. He does a nice job. And I expect the Chiefs to win this game. I don't really expect Pittsburgh to be in it, but I could see Pittsburgh just, while they're down on the ground, just like taking that little knife out and sticking them in the side with it. Like, yeah, you forgot about that one, huh? Like just here and there, like a few little weird plays happening. Maybe some special teams magic or some weird thing. Weird thing that Tomlin always does. It's weird.
The Steelers are going to need to turn the ball over.
Yeah, absolutely. And Patrick Mahomes puts it in harm's way. I have never seen more dropped interceptions from anyone in my life than Patrick Mahomes. He must throw like a Mariano Rivera cut fastball that nobody knows how to catch.
It's like the ball is coming from some angle that you never expected to,
Well, and you're expecting the pass to be complete, and you're like, oh, it's to me. You're like the linebacker. You're like, my bad. Yeah, I wasn't ready. Like, it's like when you toss somebody your keys and they're not looking, and it like hits them in the shoulder. They're like, what? And
he's thrown like no look interceptions.
Yeah, and I think their defense is going to come to play in this game. I don't think that the Chiefs are going to shred that defense. I don't. I think
the Chiefs aren't shredding. They aren't shredding teams like they used to. Like Tyreek Hill isn't just bombing down the field, getting these easy 80-yard touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
When the Chiefs really picked up this season and went on a real winning streak, it was their defense that was keeping them on top, and they were playing they were shutting down some really good teams. Those are impressive wins along the way. I would think that I'm definitely rooting for Roethlisberger.
Yeah,
I think that the spread is good. I think that it's a good spread.
That's I mean, to me, I was even like, look, I'm going to play every game because I know that's just how that's going to be. Is I'm going to be watching just Sunday Night Football. I'm going to be like, well, I might as well put a little something on it. Yeah. I picked the Steelers just because it's fun to take big spreads, the underdog on big spreads, because you just the game is more fun for longer.
Sure.
And so that's where I'm at. We're picking the Chiefs formally here. I don't think that needs to be debated there, but
it's not very controversial. But our heart is with Roethlisberger.
If TJ Watt gets there and knocks that ball out, Cameron Hayward, just a weird scoop and score fumble, that's all it takes, man. That's all I'm saying. Like, in that game, just all of a sudden gets the weird remix to it that you just didn't know was coming.
The one thing I would say, last thing, watch out for Edwards-Helaire.
He's been playing
underrated, well. And he's got burst.
I was very critical one time when you came on the show of Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and he's been a lot better.
Well, he had a lot to prove. And once he came back from an injury, he's in the last couple of weeks, last half of the season, really, he's looked pretty solid.
Yeah, well, like physical too, like knocking people back, and I was like, whoa, that's kind of
right.
Yeah, like where's that? Where was that? Yeah, I was like,
I think he's been hitting the weight room. He realized he's in the NFL. He's got to get bigger.
Yeah. He stopped. He was Clyde Edwards Eclair before that, and now he started hitting the weight room. So you like that? Yeah,
boom.
Chris Berman right there. But,
I wish I had some cookies actually.
Yeah, it does sound good actually. But the final game. This is going to be interesting. This is we're on Stafford Pack Watch. RIP Bozo alert is where we're at for Matthew Stafford here. This is definitely a game where the Rams are favored. My dad's a huge Rams fan. I want nothing but good things to happen for the Rams. I like them, and he's gone through a lot. He's been there for the Sam Bradford years. He's been there for the Kellen Clemens years. He's been there through the Mark Bulger years. He's been there
even watching Goff blow those Super Bowl chances.
Yeah, he's there the whole time. He's there the whole time in his Rams hoodie, the whole time. Like I mean, he saw the greatest show on turf. He's also seen the worst show on turf. I don't know what year that was, but it happened with the Rams.
They had a few.
They had a few. They had quite a few, and with Sean Hill at quarterback and stuff. Like, yeah, there were some bad teams. So they are hosting the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I actually don't think this is a bad draw for the Rams. I think that loss for the Niners, that loss to the Niners, is not a good loss, right? That's not the way you want to go into the playoffs.
But it helped them out a little bit.
It did. I think they're going to be able to handle the Cardinals, because I'm like not a huge Kyler Murray fan. I don't know why. I watch him and I'm just like, every play has to be extended for it to be good. Every play, the trains don't run on time with Kyler Murray. That's what I don't. Yeah.
He's looked different without DeAndre Hopkins, obviously,
and that's another
one of the best receivers in the world. So like, you lose him, and your offense is gonna adjust. But he hasn't really done a good job of adjusting.
No, they can run the ball though. That Arizona run game is sneaky with James Conner and Chase Edmonds. And they got, all of a sudden they became a physical run team, and nobody talks about it. You're like, man,
the defense doesn't get a lot of attention, but they play pretty well too. They're fast. They're strong.
Yeah, they're fast.
But I do agree with you. I think Kyler Murray he's obviously incredibly talented. He has improving to do before he gets to the
Is this
next
his first playoff game
level. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's got to be, right? Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah.
So he's got it's a lot of pressure on him. He doesn't have his number one guy. Rams, look, that defense is way too soft.
Yeah, I'll agree.
They can give up way too many yards on the ground. But the playmakers, Von Miller, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd is super underrated. Edge rusher. One of those guys makes a play, often enough for them to win. I will say Stafford, we both talked shit about him early.
First time we talked, I believe we made it a point to go after Stafford. Yeah.
And I think that, we'll be vindicated for real before this is too long. The guy has never won a playoff game. I think he will probably win.
I think he's going to get his first one. Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to win two. I think he's prone to making mistakes.
You
can see all the physical tools, but he doesn't keep the game together. He'll throw stupid picks that'll turn a fucking blowout into a close game. He'll throw his receivers into hits. He'll throw Cooper Kupp into vicious hits for like a second and 8 play. I don't think he's got that killer instinct. And I think that he's for every, time he hits Odell on the side, he's just going to make a fucking stupid throw over the middle, trying to force it. I think he wins, but I think he wins close in this game because he's going to keep it close, because you're never out of a game if Matt Stafford's the other quarterback.
Yeah, and a couple things here for both teams. The Arizona Cardinals, if you remember early in the season, they had a guy named J.J. Watt on their team. J.J. Watt is back. Yeah. He's back this week. Yeah. So that defense looked way better when they had J.J. Watt. I mean, shocker, but even as an older guy that maybe doesn't do as much. But if you get J.J. Watt back in there, that pressure becomes even crazier with Chandler Jones, Isaiah Simmons coming off the edge. Now, the one thing they don't
just
have,
like on your scheme, you have to adjust.
It's just one more guy you have to count for. It's just one more guy. Yeah. Like, you could have dedicated way more to Chandler Jones. Nope, got to account for JJ Watt. So that it's just one more guy to throw at you. Now, I will say on the back end, I don't know that they have somebody like to stop Cooper Kupp. And the Niners, to be fair, didn't either, but Cooper Kupp also had a big game, in that game. And I don't know that they have that, but it's all about keeping Stafford upright, because when I see Stafford under pressure, it's ugly. It's as bad as any quarterback in the league.
Yeah, when he gets happy feet, it's really bad.
And go ahead. Question for you. How much worse win-wise? So the Rams, what did the Rams have? 12 wins this year?
12 and 5.
12 wins. 12 it's 12 and 6. Yeah, okay. So we have 12 and 6. They are how many?
No, 12 and 5 because it's fake, because it's 17 games.
12 and 5. 12 and 5. Yeah. That is, I got it. I will never get used to that. But the evil odd number system. But yeah,
it's a prime number. Fuck.
Yeah, damn it. God, I hate everything about it. I feel like you can uncrack the code. Like it's gonna be one of those things, like an Illuminati signal or something. Like
nah, they're just trying to get us to 20 games, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll gamble on all of them. Yeah, I don't give a shit. Make it year-round football. Give me 4 bye weeks. Yeah, and then yeah, I'm fine.
Bring
with
back the XFL for the offseason.
Yeah,
just
just put college at the other time of the year, and then and then I'm good. But yeah, I actually don't hate that idea at all, to be honest. But the Stafford, how many fewer wins do they have if Jared Goff is their quarterback?
Well, it's a tough question. It kind of connects to what I was going to say, which is that you really have to give it up to Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
Just he was like classic security blanket the whole season, just like every single time he needed to play. And the routes he runs,
He's nasty, man.
It's just like I don't know. He's a very smart, very cerebral guy.
And he quietly 6'3".
Yeah.
Like I mean, very racially profiled. He does not look like a big guy. Like he looks
like an Edelman type of guy.
Yeah, and you're like 6'3". You see him go doing fade balls in the end zone, jumping over DBs. You're like, oh my gosh, like what?
And that's why he can go over the middle and he can take hits. He can play physical. He's a very, very, very good receiver, and Stafford knows how to use him. They're on the same page often enough.
And he'll throw balls to Cooper Kupp that Goff would never throw too. Like Goff wouldn't pull the trigger on some downfield balls, but like Stafford, for better or for worse, it's good and bad when this happens, but he will pull the trigger on a throw that Goff won't make. But I say this, I think I'll put it to you this way. If you still had Jared Goff plus the picks that you gave up and the Rams went 10-7 this year, NFC's kind of weak at the back end, so you're definitely still in the playoffs. Maybe
you don't get the bye, so what the fuck difference does it make anyway?
You don't get the bye either way. Maybe for this year it doesn't help you, but man, they you know what the first pick they have in the 2022 draft is?
Is it a third rounder?
The 5th round. They have no because quietly they traded a 2nd and 3rd round pick for Von Miller, who has done jack shit for them. He made a couple of big plays at the end of games. Like they got Von Miller to make 2 sacks, maybe all season, and then they paid a hefty price. So what I'm saying is you have Stafford now, and you have to win this year. Or whereas you had Jared Goff, where it's like, okay, this sucks. Like he's not definitely limited as a quarterback, and I'm just kind of being a contrarian here. I'd rather have Stafford personally. I mean, I understand this, but I'm being a contrarian in a sense where you have to think like, okay, I have my draft capital for the next 2 years, at least my first round picks. Maybe you still make the Miller trade. Maybe you still make the Beckham trade. Maybe you still do all that. But you just have to wonder, like, if it doesn't get done, I don't have the Rams as Super Bowl favorites this year with Matthew Stafford. I don't.
God, no.
I don't have. They're not clear favorites. It might happen. They might go on a run. Ramsey and Donald are insane. They might just become like the 85 Bears in the playoffs on defense.
The Odell pickup seems to have worked out a little.
5 touchdowns. That's you sign up for. If you trade a mid-round pick for a guy to pick up your offense midway through a season and he gets 5 touchdowns for you, that's a good pickup. So these have been good. I will say, I just wonder if it does not get done this year, and you and I predict that it will not be done this year. What's the plan? Does Stafford get better? No, he doesn't. He doesn't get better than he is right now. He's 35 or something like that, 34. Matt Ryan is thinking about retiring. They're the same draft class, man.
I think the plan is for the Chargers to pick up the slack.
Yeah, well,
that new fancy new stadium. No, they're seriously. It's interesting to look at a team that has like top guys at each respective position, like across the roster, and you're still saying, I don't think their future is very bright.
Yeah.
but that is really that's the way it looks. They've sold out to get to this point. And maybe they beat the Cardinals, but are they going to beat the Packers? Are they going to beat Aaron Rodgers? Are they going to
beat the Niners? If the worst part about that loss to them was not what it did to them. It's that the Niners, who they have not beaten in over 7 games now, 7 straight games, they can't beat them. You allowed them to get into the playoffs. That's the worst part about losing to them, is you could have got one of your demons out of there. You could have been like, hey, they're up 17-0. And so there are teams. I think the Cardinals they can beat, and I think they should beat them. I think they will win a playoff. I
expect them to. I do.
I expect them to. There is a scenario where I could see them losing it, but that is what it is. Like I could see that happening, but like these other teams, like Tampa, do you think they could beat Tampa? Maybe, but like I don't know if I just have them head and shoulders above them. Cowboys, yeah, that's a team I could see the Rams beating, is like the Cowboys and stuff. But
I could see I would put the Cowboys could beat them as well.
Yeah, no, they're not clear guaranteed win. I mean, and it is a playoffs. Nobody's a guaranteed win, but like you there's nobody that I would have them favored by over a touchdown against in the playoffs. And they spent like somebody that, you ever have a neighbor who's like got like a new boat or like an ATV in his front yard all the time, and you're like, I know what this guy does for a living. This does not make sense that this guy has all this stuff. Whatever, not my problem. Then all of a sudden you see that guy either moving out, selling that thing, constantly like trying to recoup for the stuff. Maybe he bought that with his savings and stuff. Like they kind of seem like they're operating on that way, but yet he still lives in that same damn neighborhood as you. He didn't get a new house. He didn't get anything like better than what you have, except for a couple fun toys. And that just seems like what the Rams are right now, is that weird neighbor that has all the cool stuff, but they can't afford it.
I kind of go on a little
absolutely
like analogous tangent as well. So I've been getting really into golf down here in southern California.
Playing it.
Yeah, there's a nice cheap course right around where I'm staying, and the guys know. It's small towns. Everybody knows everybody and shit. Mm-hmm. And I never really took from New York City, get to play like once or twice a year max, and it's nice to be able to get some. It's really fun, and practice every day, just kind of work on it a little bit, get a little bit better. It's just a really fun thing to do. But sometimes you'll play with guys over on the course and you can tell that they've just shelled out like literally like $7,000 for like a bag full of fucking clubs that they do not know how to hit. And like they had it in their head that the reason they weren't good at this game was because they just didn't have the right clubs, and they would go up. I'm sure they would go home and go on YouTube and like look up what's the best, what are the best like hybrids out there, and how many wedges do I need and shit like that. It's like, you have 14 clubs, you hit every one of them like shit. It does not matter how much money you spend on them. Yeah. And I kind of think that about Sean McVay. I think he's probably the most overrated head coach that I've ever seen.
You know who he is? He's John Gruden. He's 100% John Gruden. Because John Gruden had a hot start. People forget when he first got in with the Raiders, he had them going. Hey, they were winning, and then all of a sudden, after a while, people forget about those Gruden Tampa years post Super Bowl. They were not that good. Like
that's why he didn't have that job for too much longer.
We are getting close. Look, Les Snead trades literally everything. What if he trades Sean McVay at some point?
I think. Like what you're saying about how fucked they are if they don't win this year, I think Sean McVay that's the axe to fall, because
he'll get one more year, but he'll get one more year with no cap space and like a bunch of known commodities that can't win anything.
And it's like, all right, get Von Miller back out there again.
Von Miller's like, yo, this was my last hurrah. You want me to come back? Like, what is this? Yeah, exactly. No, Ramsey. There's no way Ramsey's gonna put up with losing for that long. There's no way. Aaron Donald will stay there. He'll be there for a while. But then like Stafford, they don't have that young talent. We're like, okay, but wait till this guy takes that next leap. They don't have that.
I mean, you would definitely go into next year with the defensive playmakers with Stafford and Kupp, and you would feel like, okay, we got another shot. But if they fuck that one up, which, they probably will, because they don't have as much, right? They don't have as many bullets in the chamber as they did at the beginning of this year. And I just think that McVay has kind of like Stafford. He has a way of loading up stats in garbage time. Getting a lot of points scored against weaker opponents. And 100%. Then look at that, like that Niners game. They should have put that game away in the first half. They should have put it away in the first half. The Niners were ready to lay down. They really were. And McVay just doesn't get like, that's the thing that Belichick, having watched him dominate for so many years, he does not let a team back in. He puts them away. And I just don't see that from McVay.
I agree. And that's beautiful. I agree. So I'm picking the Rams to win this game. Now, I won't be surprised if they melt down and the Cardinals, just do that what they did against Dallas, where you're like, wow, how is this happening? A couple of weeks ago. I won't be surprised. But I have the Rams winning, but then I have them running into a buzzsaw no matter who they play coming up.
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Cardinals.
Do it. No, do it. Because I'm already like all that stuff we just said. I'm like, why did I pick the Rams? But I am picking the Rams. I'm kind of low.
Yeah.
Everything I don't like about the Rams, I also don't like about the Cardinals. Like I don't love the Cardinals either. Yeah. I'm not a Kyler and Cliff guy. That doesn't strike me as a winning comp. Like any guys hoisting a Lombardi, I can't see those two guys doing it. The image will not enter my mind. Ever.
Totally. I guess I just think that loss against the Niners is going to sting.
Oh yeah.
And there's going to be doubt creeping into that Rams locker room.
Oh yeah.
Not just like anger or whatever, but like, damn, did we really and that's Jimmy Garoppolo. We're the best defense in the world.
Run to come back against us. They came back with the run game down 17-0. Like you figure you have to, Jimmy's going to have to pass and make a mistake.
And we got this because again, like I said, he cannot throw the ball 20 yards down the field. So this
how did it happen?
Is it just like it happened because Stafford fucking stopped scoring.
Yeah.
The defense like let too many first downs go. And to Jimmy G's credit, that last couple of drives that he ran were really, really impressive. He gets a lot of shit because he's not an elite like physical talent at quarterback, but he got that team into the playoffs.
100%. The guy's a crazy winning rate. Jimmy Garoppolo has an insane record as a starter for like how not that good he is.
It must be annoying how easily disrespected he is because he's like, shit, man, everybody else is starting the NFL and losing. And
yeah, he has every time I watch him, I'm like, and Shanahan's made, guys worse than him look really good. So I understand the Shanahan aspect of it. But okay, so we have that going. We have all this stuff documented. Maybe we'll have to do just a post-mortem NFL after the Super Bowl or something. I think that could be kind of fun. After everything happens,
we'll do a draft preview. Just get the ball rolling again.
I'm going to be doing. That is like for me as somebody like it's still kind of insane that I have a team that I'm not there already because my team actually made the playoffs this year. Like typically I'm there already right now. Like I'm already like hammering out like, ooh, Senior Bowl's coming up. Can't wait. Like typically I'm like that, No,
so you got to wait now. Like one of the good teams, you got to wait. Like
I got to wait at least a few more days, before I start doing that. So it's very nice knowing that. But I will say, yes, draft coverage on RC Sports will be off the hook. I'll do mock drafts. I'll do all kinds of fun stuff. They have these really fun mock draft machines that you could do. Maybe you and I could do a live one. That would be pretty fun. That'd be kind of fun. We alternate on a pick. I see some YouTube guys do that. It's kind of fun when they have like a guest.
I'll have to do a lot of like,
I'll send you
scouting.
I'll send you the mock draft machine. It's pretty fun. Like, cause they do scouting. They have the scouting reports loaded for players. So it's kind of more fun that way. I'll send you the thing. So
I'm looking around right now. I'm going to plan my war room. Get some whiteboards out.
Not like beta Dave Gettleman with the mask. Oh man,
totally.
Do you remember that one where he had like the full on like biohazard one? Yeah, that was like all right. And then he's like, I really need to be preserved and kept safe so I can draft a slow nose tackle and a running back in the first round. God. Yeah. Sorry guys.
Can we just say, all right, real quick? I just want to say there was a guy in Seattle. I forget who he was. He got a couple of weeks back. He got COVID tested. Came back positive. Couldn't play the game. A bunch of guys were out, and at the very first drive of the game, guy in Seattle, I forget his even fucking name. He lays out to try and catch a ball, has a spinal injury, and they have to immobilize him on the field.
Oh wow!
Get the ambulance out on the field and drive it out on the thing. And it's like you see that. If you watch football, you see that often enough, like potential spinal cord injuries.
Yeah.
Where they have to immobilize the man.
You get mad because the game's stopping. Like we're so used to that. We're like, oh my God, this is going to take 12 minutes. Can we hurry this up?
What does this do to like I go out and smoke a cigarette when I'm watching a game. It's like, oh, I have time for a smoke. And that's a horrible, horrible thing. But these guys compete. They know what they're into, and it's a physical, hardcore game. They understand that. But just the idea that you would make them sit out for this fucking positive test, and then it's like as soon as they test negative, send them back out there, and maybe they break their fucking spine.
Yeah.
It's just like the whole world is fucking crazy, and that it's perfectly encapsulated there. Like, see if we can figure out some way to play this game in a COVID safe way. Send them out there and get their fucking legs broke. You know?
Yeah, Omicron causes CTE. You know that narrative's coming, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's gonna have all these brain fog.
Yeah, we don't look Omicron, not that bad, right? Yeah. Oh, you might think it's not that bad. However, it does cause CTE. And you know Antonio Brown, he got COVID. And guess what? How he started acting. Watch, I could see somebody on NFL Network.
Yep. Antonio Brown went crazy. He should have taken the shots. You know, he wouldn't have gone crazy if he had taken the shots. That's obvious. Yeah,
100%. The Gnocchi Wizard. Slothrop, thank you for joining me. Third time.
Thanks for having me back.
Always anytime,
always a good
dude.
time.
Come on anytime, dude. Anytime. The keys under the doormat. I'm
trying to just talk about sports. I'm trying to be less political. I'm trying to devote more of my time to golf and pool.
Fair.
And I feel like what's going to happen is going to happen, and just like try and be healthy and happy. That's all.
Facts, man. Healthy and happy. So we'll see. I'll definitely jot down what we said about this. I'll maybe tag you in maybe a snarky post if I maybe got you on a game.
I assume we're gonna make asses of ourselves, and next week I'll fucking make more picks and make an ass of myself.
1,000%, man. All right, man. Follow him on Twitter at Gnocchi Wizard. That's GN, like the potato based pasta, right? Is that what it is?
It's a potato dumpling, yeah.
Potato dumpling, yes. And so go ahead and give him a follow, and lots of good stuff on there. I don't want you to go full sports because you have really good other stuff too. So give that a go. We actually just dropped a sports episode of Rare Candy, which doesn't usually happen. I usually separate church from state, but
you got one on Spotify now?
Yes, we did one about wokeness in sports and journalism pivoting after Kaepernick. It's actually a pretty very fun convo that we had. So that just came out. It's our most recent episode. This will be up on Thursday, January 13th. So everybody, thanks for subscribe to the channel. This is all sports on this stuff. So all right, man. Thanks for joining me, everybody. All right, man. Everyone have a safe week.
Good luck in there, and you guys are going to win the Super Bowl. I know it. I can.
Derek Carr is going to turn into 2012 Joe Flacco, 2011 Eli Manning, 2016 Nick Foles, 2017
having a good imagination is so important.
Absolutely, have a good imagination. Absolutely. Yeah. I was always a very creative child, so nonetheless, see you guys later, man.